this meeting to order for the public hearing. Commissioner Patterson.
Everyone, please stand for prayer. Wanted to say some good things about who we've got going to lead us in prayer tonight. Anthony Walden is the SRO officer over at Fannin Middle School. Does a great job and shows an example to our kids and children in school. And we've got some great SRO officers, they show a Christian example, and I sure do appreciate it. I've known Anthony for a long time, and how long have you been with us, Anthony? Yes, out there, SRO.
14 years.
14 years, and we've got them all over our as far as employees go. But Anthony's he sure is a shining star. We appreciate him being here tonight. He's got to run back to a wrestling match and a ball game over to middle school, so he's working extra hours. And we'll let him lead us in prayer. Thank you, Anthony.
Thank you, Glenn. Thank you, men, and all y'all for what you do. And, you know, we're in a time now where we need men of integrity and where truth don't have a price tag, and you do the things that's right. And I admire you, and I thank you for what you do. Let's pray. Father God, we're so thankful for your love, mercy, grace, the truth that you give us to lead us and guide us in every decision that we make. That truth will not ever lead us wrong. Help us to depend upon it, rely upon it, and always to stand upon it. And God, when the decisions come and the time comes, when it becomes difficult, to still stand there knowing that, God, when we stand up on it, we're standing with you and you're standing with us. I thank you for the work that's going to be accomplished here tonight, the things that's got to be decided and the decisions it's got to make, how it will impact our community. I pray for wisdom that comes from you for each one of these men and the decisions that they will make here this evening. And I pray, God, that we'll not make decisions based on the convenience of the hour or what it may affect today, but we'll think about the generations to come in the future and what these decisions may play in their lives. And God, I pray, Lord, for a revival of your Holy Spirit and your power to rise up amongst your people, that would become all men of integrity, women of integrity, that our word and our actions would be reflective of who you are and the righteousness that you display to us. God, we love you. We thank you for America. We thank you for the nation she's been, the freedom that she has given to so many, and I pray that it will continue that. But God, I pray above everything that this nation will be a nation that honors you, and if she is a nation that honors you, she'll truly be a light, that continue to be the light for this dark world that we're in. Again, God, we pray for every decision that's going to be made here this evening, that it'll be the best decision that should be made, and that you'll receive the glory, honor, and praise. And we ask it all in Jesus' name. Amen.
Amen. Thank you, Anthony.
Appreciate
Appreciate it, Anthony.
Yes, sir. Yes, sir. Join me in the pledge of allegiance to our flag. I pledge
allegiance to the flag of the United States of America and to the republic for which it stands, one nation, under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all.
Thank you. All right, gentlemen, under new business, this is a public hearing over the proposed budget for the fiscal year 2023. Sure, I think there was one change link, was that in the administrative office?
It was. There was a change made to the requested budget in the magistrate court. It was at $32,136 for an additional full-time staff employee.
Okay.
So.
And just so everybody knows, that was $32,100.
$136.
$32,136 was asked by the magistrate office, as he needs to put on one more employee. Commissioner, y'all have any questions or anything on that?
that was due to the fact, though, that he was, medical reasons that won't be announced. Is that right?
It is.
Yeah.
Yeah.
All right. So, nothing further up here. What we'll do is open it up to the public. If anybody has anything, any questions about the budget, we'll be trying our best to answer those. So, if you want to raise your hand, come on up, and we'll go from there. Anybody at all?
just so everyone knows, it was also ran in the paper last week, so if you got the paper, there's a copy in that also. And I've got additional copies up here if you would like a copy of the budget.
She said if you wanted to see how much money we got, you're more than welcome to look.
Thank you. It's all open.
Yeah.
And she's not always soft-spoken, I can promise you that.
He's not.
Lord, it's just good to see you.
All right, gentlemen, hearing no discussion about the budget, I'll make a motion that we, close this public hearing.
Second.
All in favor?
Aye.
We call a regular meeting to order. Mr. Patterson, since I've got you set down.
Let's all stand for prayer. Gracious Heavenly Father, we want to thank you again for this time that we can acknowledge you and ask for your blessing. Lord, we just experienced Thanksgiving, but we need to be thankful for all the year through, because without you, we are nothing. Help us, Lord, as we go through this meeting, that we put you in your place, which is the first and foremost thing that we need to do. Lord, give us wisdom as commissioners. Thank you for each and every one of our concerned citizens that are here tonight. Lord, bless them and help us to, again, be more like you. We ask these things in Christ's name. Amen.
Amen. Join me in pledge allegiance to the flag of our country. I pledge allegiance
To the flag of the United States of America,
and
to the republic for which it stands, one nation, under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all.
Thank you. Thank y'all. Okay, item number 2 under unfinished business is approval of the minutes of the October 25th, 2022 regular scheduled board meeting. Commissioner Serkey, any errors or omissions in the minutes?
No, sir.
Commissioner Patterson?
I have none.
All right. I'll ask for a motion that we approve the minutes of October 25th, 2022 regular scheduled board meeting.
I'll make a motion.
Ask for a second.
Second.
All in favor?
Aye.
Thank you, sir.
All right, number 3, we have a board discussion or action on a variance request from J&S Custom Builders, Sandy Willard, to build a deck within 9 feet of the property line. Is there anybody here to support this request? Is there anybody here against this request? Okay. All right, gentlemen. I think, from what I understand, this is just basically a rebuild, to where they had to get a variance request, because it is just 9 feet from the property line. It appears that they have a, approval from the neighbor
Neighbors on.
for this to be completed. So, Commissioner Patterson, any discussion on this?
I went out and looked at it, and as long as they've got an, approval from the property owners, I don't see a problem with it.
Commissioner Surson?
No, sir.
All right, I'll, make a motion that we approve the variance request, from J&S Custom Builders, Sandy Willard, to build a deck within 9 feet of the property line. I'll make that motion, ask for a second.
Second.
All in favor?
Aye.
Aye. Okay. Number 4 is board discussion action on a variance request from BLGO LLC to build a house, and that should be corrected from 8 feet to 12 feet from Joe Pittman Drive and 13 feet from the center line, which would actually add another 4 feet to that, so 17 feet from the center line. The road is a private drive and no recorded easement or right-of-way footage on plat. So gentlemen, this is one, I think I see Mr. Baker here for it. Is there anyone present that's against this?
We're not against it, but we do have a question. That's what we were talking about. We own the road. There wasn't an easement down there.
Okay.
That is our road. So,
Okay.
I mean, I'm sure we could work with people if need be, but I do want to put it on record, that's our road.
Okay. But you're not opposing it?
I'm not what?
You're not opposing it, though?
No.
Okay, all right.
She's already beating with the stick.
That was 30 years ago, but I still remember.
All right, so gentlemen, we do have 3 emails that would oppose this. I mean, if you like, we can read them.
I'd like to know.
Okay.
The
So-
reasons, yeah, mainly what the reasoning behind it is.
All right, so the first one, it's from Chris Vance. It says, "My wife Tamala and I are property owners on Joe Pittman Drive and oppose the variance request by BLGO LLC for Joe Pittman Drive. We checked with the health department, there is no septic application on file. We do not think a variance should be granted for a house on a narrow lot uphill from a stream that runs downhill to our dock without a septic system. We're not able to attend the hearing tonight and want to our views on the record." The second one is from Kurt Cofield, and it says, "Good afternoon, I received confirmation from the Department of Health that there is no septic application on file from the property requesting a variance. As property owners affected by the variance, we're going on record, no variance should be granted for a house on a very slender lot that is uphill from a stream that is within 20 yards of the lake, our swimming area, and does not have a septic permit. A permit should not be granted, to allow them to build a house if it is very unlikely they can receive a septic permit. If there's a formal process for notifying you of our concern, please let us know. Once again, we're out of town, we'll not be able to attend the hearing tonight." And the third one come from, and I want to make these first two, Cofield and Vance, and it's to my understanding that they are at the same location on Joe Pittman. We'll get back to that in just a second too. So, the other one is from Carrie and John Kitchen, Kelly and Rob Henson, and Carolyn Schenkel. We are homeowners on Joe Pittman Road where there's a variance request currently pending that will be discussed at the hearing this evening. We are unable to attend the hearing, but wanted to bring some concerns we have regarding this request to the attention of your department prior to a decision being made. The building location in question is in close proximity to and uphill from a creek that runs directly into the lake where we and our children swim. Our concern is where the septic system could be located for a home in that location would not flow into the creek and therefore into the lake. It is my understanding that a septic permit has not been applied for yet, so we wanted to make sure that it was taken into consideration when making a decision on the variance request. The piece of property in question is over 2 acres, however, the proposed building site is on a very small, narrow section of the property. We would like to propose that they build on the larger section of the lot so not to create any disturbance or hazard to the existing waterway. As I mentioned, we will not be able to attend the hearing tonight. Please let us know if there's somewhere else we should send our concerns in order for them to be heard prior to the meeting this evening. These were all sent to Ms. Woody in our land development office. So when lease came in, gentlemen, I had asked, Keith Nicholson to come tonight, as we may have some questions for him, when discussing this.
Can we ask Mr. Pittman about the septic tank before we
the-
get to Keith?
Mr. Baker, yeah, Brandon Baker.
Can I,
Yes, Mr. Baker, go ahead.
just,
Come
just
up
about-
there.
The septic system, yeah, go ahead and speak in the speaker.
This is gonna be terrible.
That's what I said.
I sound like heck without this thing, but I am from the mountain, so. Well, I've lived my whole life one ridge over from this place. And it took me forever to get to where I could actually buy a piece of property in that area to move back to, and that's where we were gonna retire, my wife, my daughter, myself. We bought that property a couple of years ago, and your 3 emailers that emailed you about the property, it wouldn't matter if I was gonna go down there and restore their homes back for them, there was gonna be a complaint. The complaint is, the reason that, where that little piece of property is, in front of their houses is where the TVA has put my dock permit, is in front of their houses over there, which is kind of odd, because it's around in front of them, but I have to walk the TVA property. Well, for the last couple of years, every time the lake goes down, they turn their docks in, and I've got a dredge permit from TVA where I can dredge, but they're doing it so I can't dredge the property between them, because they don't want me there, for whatever reason. That's addressing, I'm not throwing shade, I'm just turning back to what's going on right now. And she called me and asked me, I said, we're gonna build a very small house, all we can do is fit the small house down there, that's what we're gonna build. She automatically got off and started sending emails, obviously. They just don't want us down there, and I don't think that somebody, that the easement has nothing to do with their property. They're on the other side of the creek, up the hill where their septic system is above the lake as well, and all that stuff. And what I did is I went to John Hardiman. John Hardiman did all my soil work. I had soil work up top, I had it at the bottom. He put in my pump system, not put it in, but drew it all up, and I got everything laid down and done properly before I do my work. And he said everything will work perfectly. There's not a problem, not an issue. I got a secondary spot. I've paid all the money and done everything I was supposed to do everything right without going and just asking for forgiveness kind of stuff later. And then I knew this was coming, but I don't even see where they would have a say-so in what I do with my property, seeing that it doesn't affect them. Now, I can understand Ms. Farmer, because Ms. Farmer's on the other side of that dead-end road that nobody in the world goes down besides her family and me and Mr. Tipton, which has a dock permit down there. That's it. It's just a dead end right past my lot. So, I don't know. I got so much emotion inside about what's going on. I
But,
lost track of it.
Brandon, so did you get your septic tank permit?
No, I was getting this done to make sure that it can, with the setback from TVA
Yeah.
and then the setback from the road. There's no use in getting a septic system, somebody to come permit it yet, because I may not even put a house there, wouldn't have the room. But now John Hartman come did the stage 3, whatever it's called, site plan Fannin County requires or whatever, and he's got it all drawn out. So as soon as this meeting went forward, then I have my footprint, which is whatever it is, 20 by 40. And then I'll take that and get my building permit and my septic permit, and then I'll carry forward.
So, and maybe Mr. Nichols can answer this, even if the variance request is granted, that's not saying that, there may something come up at some point in time that with a Board of Health that says, hey, no, you can't do it there. So, and in that situation, you would be, obviously, you have to move something else, so.
I'm not that guy, but.
No, I know.
But I guess my thought of that would be, I guess, when they do the site surveys, when all that comes into, unless there was something that I don't know, I was pretty much, my thought was, once this is finished, I'll go apply for the permit and then it'll be granted, is what I'm thinking.
How big a lot is this?
The lot's a little over 2 acres, but it's up right off the Dry Branch Road and it drops straight down the mountain, and then there's a flat spot at the bottom, like in the bottom of going towards the lake, and that's where we're building the flat spot.
So that's basically where the septic tank would be too.
It'll be away from the lake on the other side of the house and pumped back uphill. And it's on the drawings that I provided with the, when I went to the county this morning at the courthouse.
When I looked at that property, if the part that comes down in kind of a little odd shape, we'll call it a wedge or something to that effect, but if you struck a line from the large part where it comes down into that, you struck a line across through there, would you say that was a quarter of an acre? That you're building on your little portion right there? Or would you say?
It's all one piece, but I don't know.
Just throwing up.
I'd be scared to say.
All right. The reason I say is because when other two locations, and one of them is 0.25 acres, and the other one is 0.29 acres, 0.27 acres, I'm sorry. And I spoke with Keith about this, in reference to their septic systems. You know, how does that actually work for them? And Keith, do you remember what?
I mean, it would be up to the health department. If their septic system failed, I don't know where they put another system in.
Talking about them, or me?
The others. I'm just trying to, in my mind, look at.
Just to help me out.
Property itself.
Let's fix it, just to help me out to understand you, with that question, would you be asking me that because, I mean, why would their have a second place affect me?
It wouldn't. I'm
Okay.
just trying to
I got you.
make a point here as far as and if they're saying that you can only build on, you should be able to build on the bigger portion. My point is, if it's a smaller area down here, what does that lot look like? So if it ended up being 1/4 of an acre, they're on 1/4 of an acre and 0.27.
I got you.
That's all I was trying to.
No, I got you.
In my mind, trying to wrap things around, that's all.
I guess because when I heard up top all that, I don't know if you know where I live on Reynolds Springs Road, and I've had people come across that hill at 80 mile an hour, run off on my kid's playground, guy about died. I mean, we're so sick of being next to a road, it's driving us crazy. We can't even have pets, anything, it's terrible. So that's another reason. Plus, it's a retirement place where we want to be on flat ground. I don't want to be on a goat's blood, Sorry, I'm emotional, sorry.
No.
Hearing all this, Ms. Farmer and Tommy Joe, do y'all have a problem with any easement? I know you said before, but hearing what he's had to say, do you
I
have any questions?
said, I'm sure we could work with him, as long as they're not encroaching on our property, and we were asked, and we had a good relationship, and we don't have a problem with it.
And you know, I explained to you, I'm not doing anything shady. It's just, my whole purpose was exactly, and I had no idea these emails were here. So when I told you that, I knew as soon as I mentioned it, that whole crew over there was gonna start just bombarding me because they already are. And we've not done anything to them, they just don't. That property was for sale. You know how people feel, they feel like they own everything. So they feel like they already own it, so they don't want the area.
The ones that, made a gravel road and have put a dock down there, my mother gave them permission to use our road and to put that in so they can use it. We're not greedy on that, we just didn't want it encroaching on our property.
And I never will.
The reason that I gave them permission to use my road, they were the ones that,
Did
was
the email?
objecting to that, wouldn't let them physically walk across their property to get to the lake. So I said, you can use my road, you can get, I'm on this side and they're on that side. I said, come get the road's between us. I said, you go my road and go down there. I'm sorry, but I didn't see that was right,
What about that?
that you should.
That wasn't me, no way.
Well, and that's just the way I look at it, and y'all disagree, obviously that's what we're here to do, is, try to put our minds together, come up with the best solution, but if he's had all the soil work done, and he has an approved septic system that's gonna pump it away, it'd be up to the Board of Health whether they give you the septic permit or not,
I'd like to ask Mr. Nicholson a question, if
Sure.
I may. Mr. Nicholson, you told me later, we were discussing this, there might be some concern with the Forestry Service. Address that if you don't care.
At the end of that Joe Pittman Drive, which is their road, is the Forestry Service. I think the Forestry Service has used that drive in the past to get to their stuff. And originally, the request was to build within 8 foot of the road. We talked about it this morning, and we got him to move the house down to the 12-foot mark to make sure that there's plenty of room if the Forest Service has to get back out through there. I hope it never happens. But forest fires break out, and they have to bring that dozer in there to plow a fire break. We just wanna make sure things like that can still happen.
You feel like the 12 feet's reasonable, sufficient?
Yeah, that would keep him off the road 12 feet. You'd still have the road bed plus 12 feet from the house.
Well, Keith, do you see anything with problem with that
Any concern?
property?
Most of what everybody's complaining about is that he does not have a septic application. I can understand what's going on here. He's not gonna apply for his septic permit until he knows he can put the house where he would like to. He's gone through the due diligence of having soil work done, and there's even a site plan for this, telling them where to put up the silt fence to keep mud and dirt from going down into the lake. So he's done his due diligence there. If y'all give him the variance, then he goes to the health department and sees what they say about his health septic permits.
All right, thank you, Keith.
All right, gentlemen, any further discussion?
No, sir.
I don't know.
I'll ask for a motion to approve the variance request from BLGO LLC to build a house 12 feet from Joe Pittman Drive and 17 feet from the center line. I'll ask for that motion.
I'll make that motion.
I'll second. All in favor?
Aye.
Aye. Thanks, sir.
Live happily ever after.
How about that? See how that works out. Sounds like I'm not the neighborhood guy they can love.
Number 5, we have board discussion action on the variance request from Fletcher, Sharon, Paul, and Kimberly Stromer to build proposed new home 24 feet from the center line and 19 feet from the edge of Builder's Hill. Reason for variance, the only place to build the new house. There was a misunderstanding regarding the easement setbacks to begin with. Any discussion on this, gentlemen?
No, sir, nothing.
I went out and looked at it, I don't see an issue. That was drawn up right now.
Is anyone here to oppose this variance? Anyone here to support it? All right. No further discussion?
No, sir.
All right. I'll make a motion that we approve the variance request from Fletcher, Sharon, Paul, and Kimberly Stromer. I hope I'm pronouncing that right. To build a proposed new home 24 feet from the center line and 19 feet from the Builder's Hill. I'll make that motion, ask for a second.
I second.
All in favor?
Aye.
Number 6, we have board discussion and action on the variance request from Scott and Jill Edgecombe to remodel and remove the steps and have an additional 8 feet from the property line. Is there anyone here to oppose this variance request? Anyone here to support it? Okay. Gentlemen, I think when I went out, it was kind of a little crazy to find, just to be honest with you.
I never did find it.
But once we did look at it, and seen that there is a neighbor, letter attached for the, to approve it.
Right.
But it also, it's actually moving, it's giving them an additional 8 feet, which is actually moving farther away from the property line, from what I understand, so.
Right.
Just a hard place to find it, but some places are. Any discussion on this?
No, sir.
Well, we've got a letter of approval from the neighbor, so, that would go a long way.
Okay. All right, if there's no further discussion, I'll ask for a motion that we approve the variance request from Scott and Jill Edgecombe to remodel and remove the steps and have an additional 8 feet from the property line.
I'll make that motion.
All right, I'll ask for a second.
Second.
All in favor?
Aye.
All right. Last variance request we have today. It's,
Yeah, all.
got one more left. Board discussion action on the variance request from Tony East to place a mobile home 27 feet from the edge and 37 feet from the center line of Fain Street. Just so we know, this is, there was a previous mobile home there, it was a single wide. They have, upgraded to a double wide, they just need that variance request. To place it basically the same place it was, to where the, mobile home company will deliver. Any discussion on this?
No, sir.
I have none. I went out there today and talked to the lady that was gonna move into it with her husband, and they were real excited. And it looked fine.
I'll ask for a motion that we approve the variance request from Tony Eaves to place the mobile home 27 feet from the edge and 37 feet from the center line of Fain Street.
I'll make that motion.
I'll ask for a second.
Second.
All in favor?
Aye.
All right. Number 8, we have Recreation Director Eddie O'Neill. Recommendation on appointments of the rec board members. Let's see.
Let's see, guys. Got, 3 rec board member positions who are, I think their term ends in December. Talked to, 3 gentlemen who have served, Ryan Sullivan, Klein Bowers, and Chris Hyde. These guys all would like to serve another term, kind of finish up everything we've got going now, be a part of that, so.
Is that 4 years? 4 years?
I
4 or
think it's
2?
5.
5.
They do 5 years.
Okay.
That's in the bylaws for rec board, so, yeah.
All right. Gentlemen, any discussion on this?
I'll vote for 2 of them, but there's one of them I ain't gonna vote for.
Y'all did a good job.
He's so honest.
No, they're all right, they're doing all right.
We'll take him off the board on there, over at City Park.
No, he knows what I'm talking about.
One thing again, and, you know, there's not a lot of people beating us up to get on board. They're just not. And we mentioned that, many times during the meetings, for different boards that we have within the county. And there's just not a lot of people willing to put that time and effort. And, just
And these
my-
people do a good job.
Yeah, my opinion, if they're willing to serve another 5-year term, I'm thankful, you know, that
Yeah.
we're actually.
They're faithful, they show up, they respond, and it's hard to find people that take time out of their schedule to do it.
And like you said, you've got some things going on now, and that experience they've had for the first 5 years is gonna carry over and really help us.
Yeah.
That's right.
All right, any other discussion, gentlemen?
No, good.
Okay. We have resolutions to appoint, them individually. So I'd say we have to have 3 motions for each individual. So, the first one is a resolution to reappoint Ryan Sullivan, to the Fannin County Board of Rec for another 5-year term. His term ends December 31st of this year, but it'll be from December 31st, 2022 through December 31st, 2027. I'll make the motion to adopt the resolution to reappoint Ryan Sullivan. And ask for a second.
Second.
All in favor?
Joe, Major Boson on the board, how about that?
I'm
All right.
gonna
The next resolution we have is the reappointment of Chris Hyde, to serve on the Fannin County Board of Rec in the same terms, December 31st, 2022 through December 31st, 2027. I'll make a motion that we, accept the resolution to reappoint Chris Hyde to serve that term. I'll make that motion, ask for a second.
Second. Second.
All in favor? third resolution we have, is, the resolution to reappoint Klein Bowers, to serve the Fannin County Board of Rec, same terms, December 31st, 2022 through December 31st, 2027. I'll make a motion to reappoint Klein Bowers to serve, that term. I'll make that motion and, ask for a second.
I'll go ahead and second that one.
All in favor?
Uh,
That's the one I was telling you about.
And we shall do. Tell them thank them for
Thank you, man.
helping out. Appreciate it.
Appreciate it.
Eddie.
Eddie, Eddie.
Sounds like.
Okay, number 9, we have Building Inspector Keith Nicholson, with a discussion on building fees.
The building fees we currently have been in effect since 2004. No adjustments have ever been made. I think it's time. What we've done is we've tried to simplify some of these fees and square footages to different things. We've gone up modestly on most everything. We checked with other counties. We made sure that we're staying in the middle. We're not trying to go higher, we're not trying to go lower, but we're trying to stay in the middle of everybody. There's some things that driveway permits, we've never even charged for, but we still have to go out and look at it. All the paperwork involved on it, all of these variances. We do all of these variants, all this paperwork. The clerk of court gets $25 for filing it. We don't get a thing. So it's time we started at least reimbursing ourselves for all the work we're doing. So, I mean, variance, I think went up to $250. Driveway permits, $100. A lot of people are coming in needing to amend their building permit, needing to switch their contractor. We're going to start doing that at $50 for the amendment, because it's the paperwork involved. Everything has to go back into a file and keeping up with it. One of the things we probably went up the most on is like, we were at $500 on these cell towers. We went up to $1,500 on the cell tower. And that's, some counties are getting $10,000 for a cell tower. Like I say, we're trying to stay in the middle. We're not wanting to make people start choking and gagging over what they get from us. But if you got any questions, I'll be happy to answer anything I can.
I do. I got a bunch of them.
Okay.
Building fees.
Yes.
What's a building fee? How much?
Depends on what you're building.
I'm building a house with a 2-car garage, 3-bedroom, 2
Okay.
basement.
What square footage or?
Yeah, it's $500 for the first 1,000 square feet.
Okay.
Typically what you do, because that is a garage addition, we'd add $100 to that. For the additional square footage, if you were building, so like a 2,000 square foot house, you would get your first 1,000 square feet for that $500. Then we would charge 10 cents a square foot for the additional 1,000 feet.
So if I was building a home that sold for 1.2 million, how much would my fee be if I was getting a building?
Oh, we don't go by,
So
we go by square
so
footage,
if I-
we don't go by the price.
Okay, so if I build a house that cost me $750,000 to build,
Yes.
$700,000, am I gonna get a permit on what I bring you and lay down and show you, like I'm laying you the blueprint of my home that I'm gonna build.
Yeah, will you show us the footprint of it?
Yeah.
We'll calculate the square footage,
Yeah, so,
and that's what you're charged on.
so that, what would a fee be for me if I build a $500,000 home?
Yeah.
Square footage.
Well, what's the base for a house that big? 2,000 feet, 3,000?
Just depends on where it's at.
Yeah, I mean, somehow, some contractors are getting $260 a square foot for building.
I know.
And, I mean, all we're talking about is 10 cents a square foot for the
I think
inspections and everything.
I think what I'm getting at is that it's always passed on to the consumer anyways.
Yes.
So if I charged you $5,000 for a fee to build a home, you come in here and I charge you $5,000, they're just passing that fee on to the guy that's buying it.
Typically, yes.
Yeah.
Now, we've tried to keep it low enough, because I don't wanna hurt any local person that's young kids coming out of high school
There's-
trying to build their own.
Right, and there's not a lot of these kids coming out here, these people, Fannin County, that's able to build a home like that. So, I
No,
mean,
very few and far between.
and that's what we've talked about you come build a $500,000 home or $1 million home next to my property, and then my taxes, you know, this home sold for $1 million, and you're gonna, you know, I just don't wanna be, I think fair is fair,
Right.
and we need to take care of our local people.
Totally agree.
So that's my thing. I think these fees, that's just like we said here now tonight, and we went over these variances. How much would you say that out of all these variances that Fannin County government made, did we make anything?
No,
We
we
lost.
lost money.
We lost money because you had to do this job. You had to do all this paperwork that the taxpayers bought for you to work with, and we didn't make one dime.
And you as commissioners going out there,
And
gas
didn't
money
make
and
one
everything
dime.
to look at these.
Yeah.
Well, ain't something right in that pudding or the. So I'm all in favor of doing what's right
Yeah.
and taking care of our people.
Just to kind of give you an idea, a $500,000 house, according to your numbers, is gonna be around 2,000 square feet.
2,000?
Yeah,
So-
if it's $260,
At least.
you know.
And so-
If it was $200, it's 400,000, for
So-
2,000 square feet.
So if I was coming in to get my permit to build my 2,000 square foot home, what would that permit cost?
Give me just a second. That'd be $500 plus $100 for the additional square footage. You're looking at $600.
So it's just gonna cost me $1,700.
600.
600.
600.
So I can sell this house, I can put a price tag on it for $495 or $695. And whatever fees it took me to build this home, I'm just gonna charge the Hensleys that might buy this home,
Yeah.
and they're gonna pay for it, and that's it. When other counties, they're charging so many, I was checking on this, cause it's been up my craw about this. So, a lot of these counties, like, if you build such a pricey home like that, they've tacked on a percentage because of the amount it costed to build this home.
There are some counties that do ask the estimated price, cost of the house to build it, and they will base the permit fee on that. The way things have been this past year, with materials going out of sight, that's too much to keep up with.
Yeah,
But the thing
I mean,
about
the
that
house could go up 100,000 from the time they started to the time they finished.
But whatever the increase is, whatever the fees are generally handed down.
to the consumer, to the consumer.
I mean, whether it's if it's $50,000 worth of fees,
Right.
they're gonna
Cause I was talking with a guy that's in developing, he was telling me, we were watching a ball game, and we all went up there, and he asked me about what we were doing on, if we were gonna be looking at raising fees. And I got in the call, I just wanna go fishing a little bit, and I said, yeah, we're looking at it. But, then he says, after a few minutes, he goes, well, it don't matter what you go up, I'm gonna pass it on to the buyer. So no matter what we do, I mean, I think that I wanna do is just make sure that all this is paid for by somebody else instead of the taxpayers having to buy all this and we're not getting no fees from it.
That's what we're going to do the whole thing with building permits. Basically, it's supposed to be unfunded. You're not supposed to make a profit on it.
Just break even.
And that's what we're trying to do, just make sure we're breaking even. We want to do a little bit more because I know how it was the last time we had the big recession. We had to lay off an inspector. And we don't want to do that. But we want to be able to keep everybody going, keep everybody working.
What's your recommendations, Keith?
What you put down there?
Yeah, that's what I put down here on this paper. And we've kept things low enough that, yeah, somebody from around here, they can still build. We're not gonna put it out of reach for them.
No.
And a lot of this stuff where, like I say, we tried to simplify. Used to, previously, you're doing an addition, 1,200 feet for $100. And then if you're doing electrical on that, then it was $200. Well, we just went ahead and included electrical in it and raised it up to $250. So if one of your kids buys a house somewhere, they want to remodel it, this is still feasible for them to do.
Oh, yes.
One thing we have changed to, just so you'll know, on commercial permits. Used to, commercial permits were $500 plus 20 cents a square foot.
So the permit was 500, and then
Plus
we went,
20 cents a square foot.
then we went 20 cents a foot.
Yeah.
Okay.
What we have done now, we've redone it a little bit. If it's a total build, start to finish, under one permit, commercial is $750 plus 25 cents a square foot. We've added a couple more categories here. If they're just like the county done with the building out there,
Stalwart building.
the Ed's Heating and Air Supply out there.
Oh,
County done that in just a shell. And so that's what we're doing, is we're saying, if you're just doing the shell, with electrical, $750 plus 15 cents a square foot. Another contractor comes back in and wants to finish it out, it'd be $750 plus 15 cents a square foot to do the finish work inside.
And these are jobs that you inspect, right?
Yes.
Do you get paid for that?
The other county, I'm on salary, so.
No, I'm asking, I understand he gets paid by us.
Yeah.
I'm asking, when you go back out there, you get a daggone fee, do you charge them?
No.
You get paid?
What we do is when they get their permit,
Your fee's in it?
they're paying all the fees up front. And that's the whole thing, but we don't, as inspectors, we don't wanna be seen taking money out there in
I
the field.
understand, I didn't ask you to do that.
And so, yeah, that's what I say, we don't wanna be taking anything that can't be accused. They pay all their fees up front when they get their permit. And then there's no hidden cost down the road.
Okay.
All right. Can you get us a copy of that for all of us to look over? And we'll table this discussion until next meeting.
Yeah.
December 30th.
Yeah.
Yeah, it's, I'll get you Candace had emailed you, everybody a copy of this. And like I said, we were hoping to put this in effect come first of the year.
All right, so what we'll do is I'll make a motion to table this, bill and fee discussion until next meeting, December 13th. I'll make that motion, ask for a second.
Second.
All in favor?
Aye.
Thanks, Keith.
Thank you.
Appreciate it. All right, number 10, the Public Works Director, Zach Ratcliffe, discussion action on paint striping of the road. Ladies and gentlemen, before we get started though, I want everybody to understand that, Zach's been going through a lot, health-wise. I think we ought to take the time to congratulate him. He just told us back there he's in full remission. I think we ought to take the time to praise the Lord for that.
That's
Just
right.
amazing. So everybody give it
That don't mean you're getting everything you want. Just go ahead.
We did some paving, in the fall, and I was trying to do this thing a little different, try to save some money, and have been very successful at that. We got a proposal for some painting, up in Johnny's area of the county, which is, Friendship and Cut Cane, and I got a proposal number on that thing, just for that one road was $74,170. So I got hooked up with another company, which is Peak, and they're running out of things to do up there. Because this is not the time of the year you're supposed to be painting anyway, but they can find some dry days hopefully to paint. So with those two roads, plus, Snake Nation and Weaver Creek that we got on, which is about 8 more miles, we can get those guys to come in and paint for us for $50,600.
All those roads?
Yes.
So the other price was 72,
Yeah, 74.
74?
for just Cut Cane and Friendship,
Just for.
So you added another road and we,
Two more.
2 more roads.
Yeah.
save $24,000.
I think that's great.
Is that same type of stuff that you were saying that
This paint, yes.
it's supposed to last long?
It does, and it's a little bit brighter than the regular water-based paint, yes.
Johnny, just 'cause you live up there, don't make you.
Man,
I
I
have to
tell
ask
you.
for the top dollar.
No, I'm voting for the cheaper kind.
I think it's a no-brainer, and I think it's a great job.
Yeah.
Yeah,
Digging into it, that's exactly.
that's
what I
all
think.
splosh, eh?
All 100%.
Amen for splosh.
Yes, sir. That's how we survive.
Yeah.
All right, gentlemen, any discussion on that?
I have none.
No, sir, I'm afraid to.
All right, I'll make a motion that we approve the $50,600 to Peak, to stripe, the Friendship, Cut Cane, Weaver Creek, and Snake Nation.
Yes.
I'll make that motion to be paid by SPONS. I'll make that motion, ask for a second.
I second it.
All in favor?
Thanks, guys. We appreciate it.
Appreciate you, congratulations.
Hey, good job, Zach.
Thanks, Zach, appreciate it.
Yeah, saving money.
All right, number 11, we have Major Bozen with the Sheriff's Office on the purchase of some vehicles. Good evening.
Good evening.
Hopefully, I don't throw it down the floor.
Thank you, sir.
Gentlemen, what you have before you is a quote from Brennan Ford, Unadilla, Georgia. Earlier this year, I started talking with our local Ford dealership about purchasing vehicles, when we needed to order vehicles, things of that nature. Because we knew this was coming up, we had to replace the vehicles after the first of the year anyway. Some of you may or may not know that in order to purchase a vehicle through state contract, they have to be ordered at a specific time, usually the year before.
Unfortunately, Ford has made some changes. They opened up, in September and closed the window in September to be able to purchase 2023 vehicles. After doing numerous, amounts of, research over this, state contract was closed in September, we can't order these vehicles. Dealerships can't even order these vehicles, and I found out the price of these vehicles actually went up. Last year we paid in the neighborhood of $34,500 for vehicles, for a 2022 Ford Explorer. 2023, the vehicle price went up to $44,189, which is really, really high. So after finding out what that was, I searched with 2 different companies. I went down to, or called down to Marietta, talked with the state contract company down there. They had a couple of vehicles on the lot that were 2022s. They were still in the neighborhood of $40,000 plus, and they had 3 of them. I started calling more dealerships to find out who had vehicles. I purchased vehicles from Brennan in Unadilla many, many years. They have always done a good job for us. I called them and said, what do you got on the lot? And what are the 23s gonna cost us? 23s aren't available until March of next year, and they will cost us $44,000, in that $189 change there. Asking what he had on the lot for sale today. He had 22 sitting on his lot, ready to be purchased. So I had him quote us a price on 5 2022s at the price of $36,200 for 2 of them. One of them was $36,700, and that's because it's got a spotlight on it already installed. And the other 2 were at $40,000 a piece. These are all 2022s. These are the only vehicles available in Georgia for right now.
What's that Interceptor EV making?
That is an EcoBoost Interceptor. That is a turbocharged, Explorer. Those are the only vehicles he had in stock to be able to be purchased. In fact, if I hadn't called that day and talked to him, we wouldn't have the other 3 non-EcoBoost vehicles. They would all cost us $40,000, and they'd all be EcoBoost.
What'd you get one still, or is one going to the investigation?
One would go to an investigator.
Okay.
To replace. His is a 2014 with 160-some thousand miles on it, and it's pretty wore out.
And what are you gonna do with these vehicles when are you taking them off the road?
There are several vehicles that have to be taken off the road. They're just too dangerous to drive anymore. And a couple of them will replace older pool cars that we have, and we'll get rid of those.
Is that where you do the auction?
Crown Vics.
Yeah, we've got a bunch of Crown Vics that are over there right
Yeah.
now, that need to be auctioned off. I wanna say 10 from the couple of years past where we've replaced a bunch of vehicles. And former administrations didn't get rid of them.
Yeah.
So we're trying to get rid of those things. They're sitting down there ready to go. We still have one Crown Vic that is sitting over at the shop. We use it as a pool car. When somebody breaks down, they can drive it home and back until we get their car fixed. But it's on its last legs too, and that's why I say some of these vehicles that we'll be removing have high mileage, but they're still good enough to drive for a shift or 2 while their car's being fixed. As you well know, you gotta have a pool car around, because these things don't run on water, and
Those cars.
we can't fix them with tape. I mean, they are expensive to fix, but we gotta keep them running. So what you see before you is a total of $189,100 for 5 new 2022 Explorers for replacing the cars. And just a short note, in buying these vehicles, instead of waiting till 23 and ordering the more expensive vehicles, we're gonna save ourselves $31,845. I thought it was a pretty good savings, to be able to pass on. We need to try to do this as expeditiously as possible, because they would like to get these vehicles sold before the first of the year, or we'll lose those vehicles. Hoping that we can maybe find some local,
Have we,
Sure.
where we at?
You can do it out of, the ARPA, is what I think.
Are we good there?
Yeah, you're fine on that. And it would qualify for that, so law enforcement's gonna have qualifications.
So we come out of that ARPA money. You're in luck.
Any discussion on this, Jim?
No, sir, I know what it's like to keep them things running, we just bought 3.
I actually had a conversation with, Rob, he's captain.
No, he's soon to be chief.
Soon to be the chief. I had a discussion with him about the same time I was looking for these vehicles, and I told him that day, if you have bought vehicles, you better call the man today.
Well, what you quoted a while ago is not what I was told. Those vehicles right there are going up to $52,000 a piece.
They are going up,
Yeah,
so they're
looks
expensive.
like we're gonna be calling Uber and come pick us up, take us to a call.
It'll be tough. It'll be tough.
I told them don't need it, do you?
Any other questions? Jim?
No, sir, we thank you.
All right. Thanks, sir. Appreciate it.
Did you want to talk about, Joel Pack and Hit Machine?
Yeah, we'll go through,
Yeah.
we'll get next session, then we'll hit that up. All right, thank you. All right, gentlemen, if no discussion, I'll make a motion that we purchase these 5, vehicles for the sheriff's office in the amount of $189,100 to be brought out of the ARPA funds. I'll make that motion, ask for a second.
A second.
All in favor? Number 12, the Fannin County says detention officer, but he's actually over the detention center, Joe Pack. His presentation on sanitation and vacuum sealer equipment.
What I've got is a CPI Guardian machine. I would like to get it to seal clothing. And I've got some pictures of some actual clothes we've got in the jail where we moved, everybody's property around the other day. I found a bunch of clothes that were molded, and what this machine will do, it's just like vacuum sealing meat. It'll pull all the air out, seal it where there's no mold or germs for the detention staff or jail inmates to have to breathe in. This machine with 1,000 bags is $11,219. I spoke to several other agencies that had it, and some of them had bought it out of COVID or ARPA money, just for the fact that it's sealing all the germs in the clothing. When I started here in 2007, all this stuff was kept in paper bags. I'm trying to move us forward and get us in better shape than what we were. I've changed paper bags to hanging bags that can be washed, but they're still open. They can still get air, still get germs out of the bags into the rest of the jail.
So how many bags in that roll?
For what that price was quoted, there's 500 of each size. So that's 1,000 bags and a machine. That's the actual machine there.
This one?
Yes, sir.
Okay.
I have looked at numerous different types of machines, and there's just, as far as I can find, there's nothing designed for clothing. Gilmer County actually has this exact machine. They love it.
You said $11,000.
$11,219 is the quote I got. We've actually called CPI themselves. They won't even talk to us. I have to go through another place that's an actual dealer for them.
Like I tried to do.
Yeah.
Give me time to do
Yeah,
that.
you are. You know, you talk about savings on everything, but what kind of price you put on people's health from having to breathe, smoke, and everything.
You always got somebody going in and out of that room. I mean,
They're in our numerous times a day.
So this thing is gonna be where you hang the property,
Yes,
it's a property room.
yes.
Okay, so this thing is gonna be in there, and it's two different size bags. And I guess the thing has a warranty and all that with it.
Yes, sir. I think it actually says on the
It's
bottom.
got a 3-year full coverage, parts, labor.
Okay, okay.
You know,
Yeah.
most machines I've looked at, like, they're chamber bags, which is basically the same thing.
Yeah,
They're plastic lids, that's a stainless steel lid. Those machines are $3,000 to $4,000 with no kind of warranty on them.
so you just put the property in the bag and it
Put
closes
it
the lid.
inside the machine, close the lid, and it pulls all the air out of it and seals it.
Pretty good.
If you look at the clothes there, a lot of these guys come in wet. Those clothes, when we were moving property the other day, I saw that, I mean, I could tell.
Yeah. Yeah, that's pretty bad.
And that's just one set of clothes that we found.
Is ARPA okay?
Yeah, I'll use ARPA for that. It will cut down on COVID exposure in the jail.
Definitely wanna try to keep them as safe as possible.
Yes, sir.
And I'm sure the folks would appreciate us taking care of their clothes when they get out too. Maybe
Yes,
the
sir.
only thing they got.
A lot of them it is. That particular set of clothes, that young man's homeless. So, he's been in there probably 6 months.
Any discussion on this, John?
No, sir, I just think safety's the #1 key, and thank God we've got the funds, that's what those funds are for,
Yeah.
so I have no issues.
I agree.
All right. That being said, I'll ask for a motion that we approve the purchase of this, call it a clothes sealer, in the amount of $11,219 to be paid for out of the ARPA funds. I'll ask for that motion.
I'll make a motion.
Ask for a second.
Second.
All in favor?
Thank you, Jim.
Thank you, sir.
Thank you.
Hey, when, I'm sure you're trying to do that tomorrow. When do you think it might be?
I can call Jeff here in a little while and see how long, what the lead time is on, hopefully not long.
All right, good deal. Thank you, sir.
Thank you.
All right, number 13 is our financial report for the third quarter of 2022. Ms. Walker.
All right. Hopefully everybody can hear me. I'll try to talk a little bit louder than what I did earlier. So, this is the financial report for the third quarter of the fiscal year of 2022. This is as of September the 30th. The total funds revenues received to date is $18,740,067.80. That's an increase of revenues from last quarter of $5,176,279. Our total fund expenditures to date are $17,198,805.40. This is an increase of expenditures from last quarter of $5,423,330.37. Our net revenue over the expenditures as of September was $1,541,262.40. As of right now, overall average into the budget is 76.8%, with no departments over budget at the present time.
And that was the end of September.
That was to the end of September. Any questions?
And keep the lights on, good.
Keep the lights on.
Good job.
If anybody would like a copy of this, I'm sure. Ms.
Yeah,
Walker can
anybody's
get a copy of that
entitled
if
to a
anybody
copy. I
wants
have some extra copies here also.
All right, how about a fund balance on that?
We're around 23, let's see.
Month-wise, what would that equate to?
As of October is what I have printed.
Okay.
So we're around 23,857,534.42. That would, probably average out to be around 8 or 9 months.
Okay.
That's general fund?
That's general fund. We're doing very well in our SLOST and, of course, our lost. Everything that comes in every month, that's a really good total on there. November, we, collected, it's pending right now, but that was our biggest month, ever.
Well, that's fantastic, so, that SPOS is very important to us, we know that.
You buddy.
Our deal coming up in March, that we, will help do some great things with that, really do. All right, any questions for, Ms. Walker on anything?
No.
You sure?
Yeah.
All right. All right, thank you, appreciate it.
You're welcome.
All right, brings us down to 14, it's a board discussion action on the end of year employees deferred compensation. Jim, I know last year was a little unique scenario that we had, that we actually, took the ARPA funds and compensated, our employees.
Yeah.
Prior to that, I think we had agreed on, I think it was $100, previous administration had agreed on $100, per employee, so, any discussion?
Is that a Christmas bonus?
Yeah, end of year deferred
Gift,
compensation.
not a
That-
bonus, a gift.
Well, not a gift.
It's not a gift, it's a bonus, am I
Deferred
right?
compensation.
It's a
It's
compensation.
given, but it's taxed, so.
Okay.
So any discussion on this? I think we,
Keep it the same.
keep it the same at $100. And as we move forward, we'll look at it next year again. We just, again, last year was a unique situation. We're thankful to be able to do what we do. It's up to you. You put it out there.
If you go up, you can't go back.
Well, I wouldn't wanna go back. I mean,
Yeah.
But as long as I'm feeling cheerful, I mean, and blessed, and we're doing good, I don't mind sharing the love, you know, I mean, so, I just think personally, at least $200. I mean, that's just me, you guys, you know, I mean, kick me to the curb, you know, but I'm just saying,
We used to want to get the boot.
I'm telling you, I feel good today. It's just a suggestion.
You know, honestly, in times where, we're still in the employee retention mode, as we still struggle to find employees, things the way they are, and we have been blessed for sure this year. Honestly, I wouldn't be opposed to that either, so. Commissioner Patterson, your thoughts on that, going to $200?
I'm good with that.
All right.
Certainly.
Yeah. Hey, God's gonna bless you, tell me.
All right, so I'll ask for the motion that we, give $200, for our end of year employee deferred compensation. I'll ask for that motion.
And I'll be happy to say, or you, say,
All right.
I'll make a motion, yeah.
I'll second that motion. All in favor?
All right.
All right.
Don't you
And
feel
we all
good?
say thank you.
Don't you feel bad about it?
Yes.
All right, so that, brings us to public commentary.
Connor.
Yes, ma'am.
And I need to go.
Yeah, come on up.
Yes,
Tell us
you
who
do.
you are and-
Yeah, you get on up there, it ain't like you ever done it before.
Okay, I'd not planned to do this, or I would have had some notes in front of me, be a little more proper. But since I was up here over the variance, I would like to talk to you about a grandfather law for the citizens of Fannin County. I've hit Mr. Patterson up, I know, at least 3 times about incorporating one. I'd like to help the I'm on the Board of Equalization, and I watched these tax hikes go up. There's nothing the tax assessor's office can do. They're following the law, they're doing a good job, they're keeping it uniform. But the citizens of Fannin County are paying the price for everyone with lots of money coming into this county. I sit up there on some of those cases and watch people that have been in this county for generations stream down their eyes with tears over a $400 increase because they can't pay it. And they say, we have to sell our land. We can't pay these taxes, or we can do without medication. Now, we see that quite a bit. You can come up on this year's tax boards and see some of the things. I won't guarantee that's some that you'll see, but it beats on your heart when you go home and have to go to bed and you've seen the citizens that have been here a long time not be able to keep the property their families have passed down. I was told about 7 or 8 years ago we could not have a grandfather law. There was no such thing. Come to find out, when I had to go to my trainings, I talked to other counties, and yes, there is grandfather laws, and they have them. And you could check with some of them, get some of the requirements. You could see what would be feasible, because I'm not saying people come in here and buy a second home, and I know our county is very blessed, but the people in here, that their taxes go up. The lake property is very uniform, but if you own a half acre on the edge of the lake, or you own 5 acres, it's taxed as a lot. It is not taxed by acreage. So some of these people that have an acre lot up there, somebody's come in and paid $1 million something and $1 million something, and they're doing all uniform, well, all of a sudden, those poor people from Fannin County have to pay that taxes that go with that, and they can't. They have to sell, so they lose their family. And I'm saying you can go back 4 generations if you want. Just find some way to help out our citizens.
Explain the grandfather law that you're talking about.
It would be that it's not saying the taxes would not go up. It's saying their taxes would still increase, but it would increase at a lower rate than, like the lake property, a point. If you have an acre and it's got a point, that's automatically assessed at 1.1 million for the land. That's not the house, that's not anything. That's the land is assessed at 1.1 million. I'm saying, as all these prices keep jumping in Fannin County, shouldn't there be a lower rate that their price could increase than going with all these homes that are going up in these $1 million districts?
Well, we're trying, and I think the chairman has put his head, pen to paper. We've lowered, Mr. Patterson and Mr. Hensley and myself, we've lowered the millage rate to help. So we have tried to do something, and this is, I'm not gonna, Jamie's, or the chairman's here day to day, so I know he's been working on this hard, you know, so we're trying to keep them taxes down there.
I know that's across the board, but I'm saying strictly for Fannin County citizens that's been passed down through the generations, not people coming in
Oh, I
second
understand
homes.
So who would I talk to? Who, like when you went to school,
Mhm.
can you call me?
I
or
could
something
find
like
it.
that to
Dana
find out?
Chastain would be the person that could get that information for you. And some of these counties do not have it, some of them do. But not of all of the counties are on our tax level to have all the people coming in and buying property at the cost that's being bought. So I suggest you get 2 or 3 of those, see what you like, make your own up, but look at it as a possibility for the citizens.
I'll reach out to Dana tomorrow, but if you could also, like when you went to the school, you
Absolutely.
could give me, if you could tell me who you actually talked to, if you could.
I talked to other people like
Yeah,
me
just let me
that
know.
went for training.
Yeah, just let me know.
Do you know what counties it were?
Not now, because that was when I was back 7 or 8 years ago told there wasn't. And then I said something about it in one of the meetings, and they said, that's not true. We have it in our county. But I certainly would research it for you. So
name is Barbara Noyes, my husband Brian Noyes, and we've been citizens of Fannin County for 10 years now. My credentials are as follows. I own Daffodil Hill Farm and Carriage and the Daffodil Hill Farm Romantic Carriage House, and have owned many other successful businesses in the past. I have a bachelor's degree in business and was on the International Honor Society. I was a real estate agent for many years in the state of Florida. I also was a principal broker of a mortgage company that was one of the last to close in 2009. As a citizen of Fannin County, my husband and I are very concerned about the enormous amount of new lodging certificates that were given out in the years of 2020, 2021, and 2022. The vacation rental market has been flooded with new rentals, which has caused those who have rentals before 2020 and the new vacation rental landlords to receive significantly smaller portion of our existing visitors' lodging money coming in. The exact number of subsequent years are as follows. In 2019, there were 700 short-term vacation rentals. In 2020, we added 257 more short-term rentals. In 2021, we added 425 more rentals. And in 2022, as of around noon today, a scary number of 666 was added earlier today. So 666 more were added today. This is a grand total of 2,044 short-term rentals in Fannin County, compared to only 700 in 2019. These numbers do not include the city limits short-term rentals and the New Hampton Inn, which has 109 rooms. This weekend, all rooms are rented at the Hampton Inn except for 2. The monetary value of those 2 rooms that are still available is $289 and also $314. This has financially taken a toll on almost all that own vacation rentals in Fannin County. We are still seeing the number of visitors and lodging dollars in the county, but the pie has gone from 700 slices to 2,044 slices. This is only 56 rentals short of tripling from 2019 to 2022. It will triple by the end of this year. Many vacation owners will soon not be able to endure their monthly losses and make their mortgage payments. This will cause foreclosures in Fannin County and house prices to drop dramatically for all permanent residents of Fannin County and also vacation property owners. The other side of the coin is the neighborhoods with 50% vacation homes are now at like 75% vacation homes. And I want to remind also the citizens of Fannin County that we have no noise ordinances in these neighborhoods that are in place after dark. Many of these vacation rentals are not maintained properly and encourage large, loud parties while the owners live their lives elsewhere. My husband and I are proposing that new lodging certificates are capped. All lodging certificates must be grandfathered in by an existing rental that has been operating successfully for 2 years, minimum of 2 years. This includes all new construction for short-term rentals be stopped. I also want to mention that affordable housing is needed for long-term rentals to keep our businesses from closing because of lack of employees to work, because there is no housing that is affordable for them. For the financial stability and health of Fannin County's residents, I motion that this be put into effect as of January 1st, 2023. I want to thank the commissioners and also Debbie Jackson for all her help with running the Lodging Certificate Office and all my fellow citizens for helping to secure a bright future for all of us.
Thank you, ma'am.
Here's a copy.
Thank you.
Appreciate that.
Anyone?
Yeah, I'd like to add on to what Barbie said here a few minutes ago. What we're referring to is, we live out in Laurel Crossing,
all right? In the last couple of years, it turned into like 50% of the rentals. 50% of our entire neighborhood is rentals. And just this year now, it's 75% of the houses are all rental houses. I've got 7, I showed you the other day, 2 weeks ago when you was out, 7 around me, okay? When I bought my property, the original builders, they approached my property from all 3 sides, okay? So they're very close to my property. So like now, if I go up the driveway and I ask the renters to quiet down, I'm being threatened by lawsuits because they want me to put up with that loud, big speakers this high facing my house. 7 of them around my house. And I think it's time that, you know, some of us locals, we've had enough. Put a cap on the number of rentals, make the homeowners responsible.
Well, I can tell you.
I'm not saying
That's what
do
we're
it.
trying to do is do it.
We need to not just do a noise ordinance,
Mhm.
but there's gotta be some respect. Come on up, enjoy the peace and quiet, keep your loud music and your drunkenness in your mouth. You should hear some of the language that some of these people use, okay? So I'm being threatened with, going to court for asking them to turn their music down, okay? So obviously we got no legal papers from anybody. I think he's just playing games. They destroyed England. They're from London. They destroyed England, moved to America because it's the greatest country in the world, right? And they want to destroy this country and have us put up with it. All right? So I just want to add that. And, you know, all those locals, I've only been here 10 years, and some of our good friends that's been born and raised here generations after generations, you know, we didn't come to change this place. We come to blend in. Like I said, we're more country than most people around here. But when you start bringing all these big multi-million-dollar homes, and they're building 2 more. 2 more. People just called us, want to know about the water and all that stuff in the neighborhood. How are you going to get a septic down in that hole? You know, where the road lies there? And it's like, enough is enough. We enjoy our visitors, but, you know, we still have the same amount of visitors coming. We don't need more places for them to party. If they want to party, they can keep it in Atlanta.
Thanks,
That's
sir.
my 2 cents.
Didn't you have the buggy thing I had to come inspect or something one time?
Yeah.
I thought so.
We're actually the top 10% of attractions worldwide on TripAdvisor.
2 years in a row.
Awesome.
That should bring you some business.
It does bring us a lot of business.
We
So
have
we're
people,
nice and
we have
quiet.
people from all over the world, because we're the #1 period business in the world, basically, that will come here, they'll find us, fly in from Dubai or whatever, and then they check out Blue Ridge, do the train, spend a few days. It's amazing, we meet people from all over the world.
But we keep it country, we keep it, I mean, just fun, good farm, country fun, you know? When I hear loud music, boom boxes, bang, 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 you know?
Well, we're working on ordinance.
We are. We
But
said
it
that
can't be
for a
just a
while.
nighttime ordinance, they gotta be respectful during the day.
Well, like I said, we're working on ordinances.
Thank you.
You will.
We appreciate it. We appreciate all of you.
Well, we appreciate y'all, and, we're working together though.
Thank you.
Anyone else?
I do, I just wanted, if it's okay, to get some clarification on
Sure.
builder fees. So do I need to come up here or just ask Keith? Okay.
Well, Keith will probably be the one that can answer.
Yeah. So the square footage, I understood to be, you got $500 for the first 1,000 square feet. So, my question on the fee, on maybe the upcoming fees is how does the basement figure into your square footage calculations for the total fee?
Okay, it depends on whether or not the basement is finished.
By finished, what if it's stubbed for a
Okay,
bathroom?
if it's just stubbed for a bathroom, just a second here,
I just wondered if that figures into your total for the fee.
okay, if it's just stubbed for a bathroom in the basement, that's an extra $10.
Per foot?
No, just, if
so-
it's just stubbed
Okay,
for a bathroom downstairs. and it's left an unfinished basement. A finished basement, that would be having coverings on your walls, sheetrock or
Even the ceiling.
in the ceiling, yes.
And then it would figure into your total.
Then that would figure in with the 10 cents per square foot of the house.
Okay, now this is a strange one. So if, let's say that you do the house and the basement's unfinished at that point, and let's say it's 1,000 square foot, so you collect $500. Okay, and then a year down the road, they want to finish it. So when you go back and give them the permit to finish it, if they come and get one, if they come and get the permit, do you then charge them another $500 because you've had to come back
No,
out there?
it's, then that would be like an addition or something, remodel. You're looking at $250.
Just a flat fee?
Yeah.
Or is that per square foot on the remodel?
It'd be $250 for the first 1,000 square feet.
Okay. And then the driveway fee, is that a separate fee? Or is that just if somebody's cutting in a secondary driveway?
No, that would be, I mean, just like when you do your start, a lot of people will do a driveway just so they can go camping or something maybe.
Oh, okay, with no house. Okay, and then what about the square footage on the garage?
Is it a standalone garage or are you talking about?
A detached garage.
Attached garage?
With a house, yeah.
Typically, what we do is just add $100 for the garage.
That was all I needed, thank
All right,
you.
Thank you.
You're welcome.
Anyone else? All right, we'll close public commentary. Gentlemen, that brings us to executive session. Y'all need executive session? You?
I don't know.
All right, nor do I. So I will, make a motion that we adjourn. Ask for a second.
Second.
All in favor?
Meet December